Hi everyone, I'm Luke. This is kind of a new thing I'm doing here. I have always watched a lot of Booktok, but never really engaged with creating my own. So here we are. So yesterday I finished The Wheel of Time.
The end of the last book of The Wheel of Time.
I read all 15 books in the series. I included New Spring, the prologue, which I think, I read New Spring as well. It was good. But yesterday I finished A Memory of Light. And I just wanted to sort of make a quick video to consolidate some of my thoughts about the series and sort of have a small token of my appreciation to both Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson for the incredible world and work that they put into it. And of course to Harriet as well for making sure that the series got finished and was brought to fruition, and hiring someone like Brandon Sanderson to finish the series instead of... she speaks about being able to get a ghostwriter and do play it safe. And she chose not to do that. And I really appreciate that. This is full spoilers. I mention story elements from all across the books. So if you haven't read the Wheel of Time series, please click away now. But yes, I started. So I've known about the Wheel of Time for a long time now. I follow Daniel Green, which is probably the most cliche place to find out about Wheel of Time, but yes, it's through Daniel Green. But first I had to get through all of the Sanderson stuff, which is up here. I needed to read all of his Mistborn, I needed to read Stormlight, I then got hooked on Dune, and I've read most of the Dune books. I've read the 6 real Dune books, and then most of the other ones. But I finally, back in 2021, began reading the Wheel of Time books, and I just had surgery, meaning that I was bedridden and I couldn't leave my room for about a month and a half. So I got through the first 3 or 4 books very, very quickly in that time. And it was a very, very rough time for me. It was very hard. And it was really, really amazing to have those books to disappear into and to escape with. And the worlds and the characters were just so incredible. What I love about the Wheel of Time characters is they are both so lovable and some of my favourite characters in fiction, and also some of the most frustrating characters ever. If we think about our family and our friends, all of them have an aspect of them frustrates us, but we still love them. Of course, some of my favourites, Matt is a cliche, but I do love Matt and his luck. A character I think actually that I really, really loved the story of, and I think he gets a bit of hate in the fandom, but I really loved Gawain. I thought his story, especially in the final 3 books, less so beforehand, but he kind of takes he's more involved in the story in the final 3 books. Gawain's realization that his hatred towards Rand mainly also comes from jealousy, comes from the fact that he feels like he should have been a chosen one, he should have been the one fighting, but he isn't. I think is a really, really interesting way to take a character, and his final fight, him not being good enough and him not being the one, I thought was so heartbreaking and so tragic. And that actually was the first moment in the books where I had a little tear. I was reading it on the train and my eyes got a little glistening. No, I thought Gawain was a really underrated character that I really appreciated. But also just like the intricate magic systems, the intricate politics. What's incredible is the first 3 books are very like sort of classic fantasy. And then with book 4, which I think is a lot of people's favourites, and I would say it probably is my favourite as well, book 4 is up there. I have to say books 12 and 13 I really, really like too. Just kind of the amping up. But from book 4, Jordan really goes, this is a different kind of story now. We're going heavy politics. And I think I learned so much as a writer myself. I've learned so much from this series about world building, about telling a grander story. What's incredible about the story is we never lose sight of the characters, of those main characters that we are following. However, we also understand the great geopolitical movements that are happening and these huge things. So like the Black Tower being erected, like the Sunshine coming over, like all of these huge things are happening. And the world really, really feels alive. And the ending, leaving those things still going, leaving the world still alive is such an interesting just way to tell a story. Of course, as well, the final moments with Rand. What do I think it is? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I think it might, again, just kind of be the wheel giving him what he deserves, what he wants, a break. He no longer can channel. He's no longer the Dragon Reborn, but he can still, the wheel owes him those small motes of power that it gives him. Knowing the epilogue was written by Robert Jordan really makes it a powerful powerful chapter. I think Brandon Sanderson did an impeccable job of taking over. I think Robert Jordan's... There's so many of these books are masterpieces, and so having to follow that up is a tough order, and I think Brandon Sanderson really, really stepped up and delivered. The fact that the final book is just the battle is incredible, and the fact that the last battle chapter is 50,000 words long, is the length of a book in itself. It really delivers. Having read the series over so many years, as I think I started saying, I read the first kind of 3 or 4, recovering, then I took a bit of break, and then I'd read one every couple of months, and then finally in the middle of this year I was on book 7, and then I just kind of read through. I've just kind of gone, you know what, I'm going to finish this story, I want to know what happens, I want to have done this. And it's been a really incredible journey, and also just knowing that it can be done. Like, the idea of reading all of the Wheel of Time seems like such an insane, such a insurmountable mountain to climb, but it can be done, and it is done. And there's a fly. Go away. One of my favourite chapters is in Towers of Midnight, when Matt, Tom and Moraine are all sat around the fire, and Tom and Moraine are flirting and basically say, we're going to get married. And Matt's like, what? Huh? What's going on? And then he goes off and he's like, how am I going to do this? I've lost my eye. What am I going to do? And then he gets lucky with finding a cook pot and fish and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be all right. And I think it's such a wonderful encapsulation of the series as a whole, because especially nowadays we're seeing a lot of grimdark come to the forefront, a lot of grimdark fantasy, a lot of dark stories. However, the Wheel of Time, though it does get dark and it does get sad and it does get nasty at times, there's always hope. There is always, it's always very inspiring. The characters always overcome. And near the end, that's what Rand even says, is like, to the Dark One, it's like, it's not about beating you. It's just about not giving up, which I think is a really powerful message. And I think that chapter really encapsulates the humour of the series, as well as the characters, as well as the magics of the world. And I love all of these separate magic systems. You've got very hard magic systems with Sadar and Saidin, but then you've got these other magic systems that aren't explained, like Matt's luck, like Min's viewings, like the elfin and the eelfin. Like, what's going on there? Like, there's so much in this world that isn't explained and feels like soft magic systems. However, they don't feel unplanned. It doesn't feel like Robert Jordan is just using these other magic systems as get out of jail free cards. It feels like he understood what he was doing with them. He understood how they worked. We just weren't told, which I really love as well. I really love that idea of all of the magic systems are hard magic systems. We just don't know everything about them. And all of the discovering stuff from the Age of Legends, all of that is it's such an incredible way to tell a story. Telling a story where the Wheel of Time has already happened. That series has already happened with Lews Therin and he lost. Is such an incredible way of world building and telling the stories. And it's just really, really clever. But no, I don't really know what I wanted to do with this video. I don't think I've really said anything new, but I just wanted to, this is my sort of thank you letter to Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson and the whole team that brought this book series to life and to fruition. I just wanted to say thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for sharing it with us. It has truly inspired me as a writer, as a person. It has helped me through some very tough times, and I am so grateful that I got to go on this journey and I got to travel and grow with all these characters, because the characters do really grow throughout the series. They really, really change, as I've changed, because I've read it over such a long period of time. 3 years of my life. So much has changed in that time. I've graduated from university. I've worked multiple jobs. I've got into a new relationship. So much has changed that in the time since I started the series to now. So I really do feel like I've grown with the characters and they feel like my friends. And it feels very bittersweet to know that my time with them has come to an end for now. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Brandon. And may you find shade and water.
It's done. What a journey it's been.